Just in Time is a really sort of electric new musical starring Jonathan Groff telling the life of Bobby Darin.
I'm starting the show as myself and forming a direct connection with anyone that shows up on those nights at that show.
What we're trying to bottle in this show is what did it feel like to be at a Bobby Darin show at the Copacabana?
It's about when you find that thing that you're supposed to do in your life.
But there's also so much joy and urgency to his story because he accomplished so much in a short amount of time.
It's just a beautiful performance.
So Circle and Square is a really unique Broadway theater, and it's the only one that's not a proscenium theater. So you are going to be sort of in the center of the action.
This is meant to make you feel like you're in the room recording the Broadway cast album with us.
We want the show itself, Just in Time, to feel like a gift and a love letter to the audience.
The music is really spectacular, and it feels like you're going to be back at the Copa, back in a nightclub atmosphere. You know, something that we haven't seen in a long time in our culture. And I think to bring it back is going to be not only to bring it back a nightclub atmosphere, but to bring it back on Broadway.
Bobby Darin had this song called The Curtain Falls that was one of his signature numbers that at the end of it he says, if I had this to do again, I would spend it with you again. And that's I think a reflection of his passion and love for the audience, which I really connect to.
What didn't draw me to this project? I mean, obviously, Jonathan Groff is iconic, and I've loved him forever.
Seriously. I mean, if you're not a fan, you will be a fan after this. But who isn't a fan of his? I mean, he's just magic.
Well, imagine one of the most premier artists of our generation singing this kind of music and portraying one of the great artists of our time.
Jonathan is such a versatile performer. He can be really funny and charismatic and charming, and then in the same moment be incredibly heartbreaking.
He's pure joy, but he also is really disciplined and has thrown himself into the dance. And I think people are going to be amazed at what he does.
So here he's dancing, he's playing the drums, he's doing all sorts of things. And so I think if you love him and all his other performances, you're going to still see him flexing and doing all sorts of extraordinary other things. He also doesn't leave the stage for the first 40 minutes of the show. I mean, it's a really virtuosic, extraordinary performance.
Jonathan's spectacular, and he's the right guy to do this.
And we're experiencing the story of Bobby Darin's life together. We've got songs from the Great American Songbook, we've got the pop hits from the 50s and 60s, we've got folk songs from the 70s, we've got an amazing live band on stage a la the Copa. It's going to be lit.